Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singer-songwriters and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest grew up in his parents' record store. He was a child star performing on Sesame Street. As a teenager, he joined the group known as The Show, who signed 2 major label deals and toured alongside Usher, Young Buck, and Ginuwine. He competed on Canadian Idol and garnered a standing ovation for his rendition of Ain't No Sunshine by the legendary Bill Withers. So, let's spill the tea with Omar Lunan, professionally known as O. Welcome, O.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the intro, my friend.
Well, so much to chat about there. I'm particularly interested, I mean, Canadian Idol, The Show, Sesame Street, but let's talk about the record store because that was way back when you were just a youngin, and your parents had this record store in Little Jamaica in Toronto. Tell us about that experience. What was it like for you? Did you even know how cool that was when you were young, or you just, yeah, I'm just at my mom and dad's record store?
Yeah, I didn't really, I was just surrounded by music all the time. And it was just the spot where you went on Saturday and, you weren't allowed to touch anything until the parents said you were allowed to. Once you learned how to lay the needle on the 45 without scratching it, then you were okay to touch the equipment. Um, but it was still a great place to be. I was lucky because they also had a Miss Pac-Man machine in there. So if I got bored of listening to all the records over and over, I'd play a little bit of that. But it was a really great space. Once I got older, I started paying more attention to all the artists that I listened to, and to this day, first record that I listened to in its entirety is Synchronicity, The Police, and
Mm.
Sting is still one of my favorite songwriters today.
How did all of those different genres affect what you do today and the type of music that you produce today? Because it sounds like there was a plethora, there was like a myriad of different types and artists of music, and that we all know as children, that forms the type of music that we generally listen to as we get older. So, how did all of that culminate in what you do today and how you write today?
Well, I think most specifically, the music then just made me feel good. And I also had an elder sister who was always singing in the house, and whatever she liked, I liked too. But once I got to high school, it really dawned on me one particular song in my melancholy teen years, one particular song from Brian McKnight called One Last Cry really spoke to my feelings. And I think that was the first time a song ever resonated with something in me. Um, I was not always the luckiest with the ladies. And the
Oh,
line
come
in the
on,
song,
come on.
no, no, I mean, I'm sure everybody has their own opinion of what, dating and courtship and things like that were. But the line of the song itself was, "My shattered dreams and broken heart are mending on the shelf. I saw you holding hands, standing close to someone else, and now I sit all alone, wishing all my feelings were gone. I give my best to you, nothing for me to do but have one last cry." And I was like,
Wow.
"Why is this guy singing my
Yeah,
feelings?"
well, I think it echoes the feelings of probably every young teenager at some point in time in their life where they see the love of their life with somebody else.
Yeah, and I think that really inspired me, just knowing that hearing those words evoked deep emotion in me.
Right.
I said, all right, I really appreciate songwriting, and I think I need to start working on it. albeit my first few poems were definitely probably the worst things ever written known to man. But it sparked a fire in me for sure.
I'm sure in your memoirs they might come out and you'll share them with the world. Let's move up to the Sesame Street days
Mm.
because when I read your bio and I thought, well, that's cool. I mean, you don't meet people that have been on Sesame Street every day. So tell us about that experience. How did it come about? How did you get the gig? And what was the experience like?
Sure. I do remember it was about grade two in public school, and I grade two or three perhaps, and I just remembered I was just singing as I always do. And one of my teachers approached my parents at the time and said, you know what? There's an opportunity that happened to come up through CBC, and I think it'd be a good opportunity for him because he happens to really like singing.
Hmm.
So, of course, my parents signed the permission slip, and we went on a field trip to CBC Studios. There was a tour, and then a few of us were selected from a couple schools to leave and go with a children's singer to Central Island and sing a song with him. And it was pretty awesome. I didn't get to meet any of the Sesame Street cast, unfortunately, but we did see the set and we saw I did see some of the puppets, which I don't think we were supposed to see.
Blows
But
the illusion. It blows the illusion away.
absolutely, seeing a big bird skin on the wall changes the game. But it was definitely a great experience, especially knowing that they wanted to include the children in the whole experience of the song that this one artist wanted to promote.
So you're trying to tell me that in high school, when you told girls that you had been on Sesame Street, that did not resonate?
A lot of the girls didn't give me enough time to get to that conversation. Like let's keep it all the way real. Everybody looks awkward in high school. You know, you're an awkward turtle. You just your clothes aren't exactly the spiffiest, unless you had parents who were taking care of you that way. But I was just an awkward kid, and if people did talk to me, it's because I did sing, and that's where I got the most attention in school. But after a while, that kind of loses its charm too. If I'm a jukebox and that's the only reason you come to say hi, then I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until you approach me on a different level.
So the next part of your career where you joined the band called The Show,
Mm.
that had to have some impact on the ladies. Tell us about that experience. How did that come about? Was it somebody that put a group of guys together and made the band? Did you form it, by osmosis? How did it come about?
So I did a talent show. My high school said that there was a talent competition, inter-school talent show, and the prize was a bunch of demo tapes recorded, and they were like, okay, let's try it. Now, mind you, I was with the West Hill Concert Choir, and it was a real talent show, as in people who really wanted to put out music. So me showing up singing renditions of The Rose was not exactly talent show material that you'd want to hear on a demo. But we showed up, and the guys who won were just clean. They were on point. They were singing like Boys to Men and whatever was hot at that time. And the following year, somebody called my student office and said, you know what, we remember this guy from last year. We'd like him to join a group. And the person who got that message, bless her, my friend Tracy Turner, she gave me that message and said, I don't know if anybody else would have gave this to you, but here's the number, call them, see what happens.
Mhm.
And since then, I toured Canada with those guys. I won a Canadian Ever Music Award. I did a lot of really cool things before I got my high school diploma. And I think that did have an impact on my confidence. Um, I think just in general, just knowing, hey, I'm doing some really cool things here, and not everybody has access to this, but the amount of work that had to go in to garner those opportunities, that was an eye opener as well, for sure.
Things don't happen just overnight. It's
Mhm.
very rare that, you know, a Bieber happens where it's a YouTube video or a TikTok video and they go from, zero to superstar in a very short period of time. Most successful artists, the bulk of successful artists, they work really hard for a lot of years and they put in the time and they do the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours to become really, really good at what they do. Tell us about that experience. How did you get selected to be on Canadian Idol, and what was the experience like?
I think it was actually a really good experience. Mind you, I didn't realize that a lot of the things that I did with the show were things that the Canadian Idol, the winner, would do. The touring and the winning awards and all the other things. Um, but this was at the tail end of our last deal, falling under, and we were sort of not sure where we wanted to go. And the group finally was like, okay, I think we're just going to go our separate ways. But I still wanted to do something musically. I wasn't sure what. And then when I saw the auditions, I said, okay, let me try it. And I think they auditioned, between 20 to 30,000 people across Canada.
Wow.
And then once they actually whittled it down to 200 people, of course, I was super nervous. And being selected, still, you had to climb that hill in terms of being selected again and again,
Mhm.
over and over again. And it's really daunting, you know, not only just being in a competition, but knowing that Canada is watching, not just one person, like all of Canada and beyond. So once you Google Idol, potentially people can see you from anywhere around the world. And I met a lot of really awesome musicians, not just people with a dream, but people who have been creating. And there's one particular Drew Wright who made top three. Still, that's my boy. He was probably one of the first people I connected with, and who's always been just very real about our conversations, our jokes, everything that happens in our lives. We just touch base, and things are still. It's like time has never passed. Yeah, but it was actually a really great experience, and the pressure was very real as well. No question. If in 200, when they chose the top 200, we stayed downtown at the Fairmont Royal York, and in a weekend they went from 200 to 24.
Wow.
And every morning you got to wake up fresh, be ready by 7:30 in the morning, even if you were up until 2 in the morning the day before, and be ready to give your all. It was a lot. TV is not a joke, for sure.
What was your big takeaway from that experience? What was your big lesson that you learned?
There were a couple. Briefly, I think the first lesson was just remember that it is TV. So a lot of the edits and people wonder, well, why are they showing people who can't sing and people who are comedians, or people who are just comedic value? Because you got to have some of that as far as TV is concerned, and
Right.
they know what shots are happening before they're done. So there's a little bit more planning in who the idol is than I think a lot of us understand. But that's business. The last thing that I was painfully reminded was I entered Canadian Idol also on the heels of losing a sibling, and
Ooh.
it was very. I think it just felt in a very vulnerable time. It felt like those feelings were taken advantage of, not only by certain people, because I had a moment on TV and I sort of, left during a performance. And as I was trying to sort of take a moment to myself, I could hear people saying, keep rolling, keep taking, just get it, film it.
Mm.
But also online, people were not kind and thought that I was using, the tragedy to gain attention. Thank
Let's
you.
get into one of the songs that O wrote. This song displays openness and vulnerability that will make a lady's heart melt. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Omar Lunan, also known as O, and his song, Risk It All.
Been hiding all my feelings, girl, because I've been afraid of getting broken hearted or feeling some type of way. I'll be damned if I let someone ever play me close again. No casual connection, I don't need another friend. I love the way love feels, and yes, I do love hard. I give myself to who carries my heavy broken heart, but I don't like the vulnerability of being close. If someone isn't sure about where they really wanna go, love, oh, ain't no kind of game, no. And I feel like I am ready to stay. Before you jump conclusions about the way I am with you, or say it's my male ego or something else you might assume, please understand it's others that have made me feel this way. Not every man's a dog and every woman's not the same, but I can't blame nobody. My choice is one my own. I'm tired of reliving all the sorrows from before. I see your hesitation from how I've been holding back. I'm trying to show you, darling, that I'm changing all of that, yeah. Love, ain't no kind of game, no. And I feel like I am ready to stay.
That was Risk It All by O. O, tell us, what is that song about and what was the inspiration to write it?
If you remember, I had a conversation regarding my luck with women in high school. I think just because there were lots of highs and lows, and um, the whole purpose of love and being in love, motivated by one of my favorite singer-songwriters, India Irie. In one of her songs, she said, "Speak words of beauty and you will be there." And I feel I was motivated to say, all right, if I want that timeless love, that dedicated love, the kind of love that transcends time, I need to write about it, and I need to believe it, and I need to sing it. And I thought Risk It All was a good idea to start there. and just be a little more vulnerable about my own experiences, but also draw a line in the sand and say, if I want to live differently, I want to do different things, then I have to say that the old life has to die here. And this is what I want to do to dedicate myself to the love that I want to live. So that's where Risk It All came from. There's a lot of risk in relationships. There's a lot of risk in love and putting yourself out to tell somebody, I think you're the one.
Oh, how do people find out more about you and your music? What is the website, what the socials, and the streaming platforms?
Sure. So my website is the key of O, so OH.com. And Instagram is OH.the.artist. It's probably the easiest way to find me anywhere. Same with YouTube, the key of O, Facebook, the key of O.
Love it. We have been in conversation with O. Oh, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.